Welcome to episode 2 of Path to the Draft. Let's get into it. So before we talk about Jack Dalton, a couple of caveats with Path to the Draft. Now, I've been a self-proclaimed knowing sweet F all about the draft ever since I started the channel. That's why you see Pommy on here, or Jasper from ESPN, or Jonty from Zero Hanger and Craft of the Draft, because I know sweet F all, right? The names that I'm giving you are names that we've obviously been linked through NGA or Father Sons, if we were to talk about Tommy McGuan, or just mock drafts that have players around our picks, because you got to remember that our picks are absolutely crap at the moment unless we trade up, right? So you're looking at round 2, so second day stuff, players that could fit into our mold around those picks. So the player that we're going to be talking about today is Sandringham's Jack Dalton. Now, some articles have Jack Dalton around the pick in the 40s. Some articles have him as a draft bolter, and for pretty good cause. So we're going to look into him now. Let's get into it. Dalton has emerged as one of the breakout stars leading up to the 2025 AFL Draft. Now, he had a pretty crappy start, breaking 2 of his arms, and by all means, like, he shouldn't have been as good as he was this season. He was just incredible for Sandringham, an inside midfielder, and we know that Collingwood need some inside mids. That's why we were looking at Jai Simpkin, Clayton Oliver, and Jack Dalton fits the mold. He's a vice captain and a former captain for the Vic Metros under 16 team, so he has those leadership qualities, speed, endurance, everything that we love about a hard-running midfielder. Compares himself a little bit to Lachie Neale, where he can get on a couple of chain handballs, and you can see that just from his performances this year that we'll look into. Dalton is an inside midfielder, like I just mentioned, known for his incredible endurance and consistency. He earned the nickname Endurance King by clocking at 5-minute 53 2-kilometer run at back-to-back national combines. This is the fastest in his draft class, and on the field, he just powers through all 4 quarters and can just keep going. He's like an Energizer Bunny. In AFL terms, Dalton is a ball magnet. In the Talents League, he was racking up about 20 disposals a game on average, but then look at this game, right? In the regular season, his last game was 37 disposals, 7 marks, 7 inside 50s, and 2 goals in 1 game. That earned him the Coach Talent League Player of the Week. That is just insane numbers. The thing I love about Dalton is that he combines his stamina, his endurance, and his ball magnet winning skills with just strong contest work. So he loves a tackle. He loves to be in and under a pack. In the Sandringham Grand Final that they did end up losing, he had 11 contested possessions and 9 tackles. You can see that aggressiveness, that pure aggressiveness that we are sort of looking for in our midfield. And if you can get him, around that 40s, he would be an absolute steal. Let's talk about the 3 things that I love about Jack Dalton. Number 1, his endurance and high possession game. He loves to run. Like I said, he's an Energizer Bunny, but even more so, he can gather the ball. He loves the ball in his hand, and he can do really good things with it. Yes, his disposal needs a little bit to work on, but again, he's a young kid, 18. If he can accumulate it, he can get in and under those packs. That's exactly what Collingwood are looking out for. Number 2, he's strong in contest. In Sandringham's season, he led the team for contested possessions and tackles in finals. So when it's the big stage, he can definitely apply himself, that hard-nosed running midfielder, but that in and under midfielder, exactly like a Lachie Neale type. And number 3, his ball carrying and delivery skills. Now, yes, I said that his disposal needs to be improved a little bit, but he is still getting the ball inside 50 as that running midfielder. In one game recently, he had 7 inside 50s. In the grand final, he had a couple of inside 50s as well. So not only is he in and under packs, he can be that link-up chain handball and get the ball inside 50. So why would Collingwood love to steal Jack Dalton if he falls to some of our picks? Collingwood already have a pretty good nucleus, and any player around Nick Dacos is just going to get better. We were identifying inside mids like Clayton Oliver, Jai Simpkin, because we needed that hard nose in and under. We can't let Nick Dacos be doing that. Yes, we have a Ned Long, but Jordan De Goey isn't getting any younger. Bo McCreary isn't that sort of player. We don't have anyone coming from the twos that can sort of do that besides Ned Long. So that is why we were targeting those older players. I think Jack Dalton fits the bill 100%. Dalton would add contest depth and tackle pressure to a Collingwood engine room that, while we're super talented, we really do lack a truly relentless inside mid. I feel like Ned Long isn't your typical inside mid. I've said this all along. Tom Mitchell was that extractor. Ned Long was that defensive inside mid where he could bollock 1,000 tacklers and push through, but he wasn't that sort of true in and under type where I think Jack Dalton is. The most important thing as well is that we've got no first round pick. Yes, we might have to bid on, match a bid on Zach McCarthy a little bit earlier on, and maybe we trade up. But at the moment, as it stands, we'll be doing most of our work on night 2. Look, to be honest, any team would absolutely love Jack Dalton in their side if they're looking for a hard-nosed running inside midfielder. That's why I'm kind of scared that he might go in the late 20s, which we don't have a pick at currently, but he could fall to us. And again, with academy picks, with father-son picks, our picks start moving up at least 5 to 7 spots, you would think, because Gold Coast have so many academy picks. Brisbane have a couple of father-sons or academy picks. Carlton have a father-son as well. So we will move up, but is it enough to steal Jack Dalton from any of the other clubs? Some drafts have him, like I said, between 40 and 50. Some drafts have him late 20s. Some drafts have him in the 30s. So it's just so hard to know, but all I do know is I think he should be on the top or near the top of Collingwood's draft list on draft night. Our biggest need for an inside mid is currently what Jack Dalton has to offer us. A hard-nosed running midfielder who doesn't shirk a contest, loves getting in and under, and could be the replacement to Jordan De Goey. Jack Dalton has all the classic markings of a draft steal. High endurance, speed, hard-nosed running midfielder, in and under midfielder, captaincy vibes, and just everything you would want in a player trying to make it into the AFL. That's why I think he would fit absolutely perfectly in Collingwood's system, learning from Nick Dacos, Ned Long, Jordan De Goey, Scott Pendlebury. Any midfielder we draft is going to be surrounded by just absolutely A-grade, incredible AFL players to the highest caliber. In other words, I think Dalton is just tailor-made for the Pies. He's exactly the type of character that Collingwood go after and that Collingwood value. And if we play our cards right, play our draft picks right, like I said, he could be an absolute steal on draft night. But let me know your thoughts. Is there anyone that you specifically want me to check out? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate everyone's comments on the first video. I love being back and making videos after that little short break. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.